Hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. I am very excited to introduce you to Christine Ululati, VP Vendor Partnerships from GlassHive. Welcome, Christine. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Hello, ladies and everyone. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to get to know you better. Let's start off with the easy. So where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's something different?
Yeah, so I currently live in Tampa, Florida, and I grew up, well, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and lived in Queens for a little bit. But I moved to South Florida when I was about 10 or so. So I grew up in the West Palm Beach area. So I was there for a while.
Oh, that's awesome. We lived down there for just a little bit, so we'll have to compare stories later on that. What is a little known fact about you?
A little known fact. So probably that I am pretty outgoing and friendly. I'm little, I'm only 4'11", but everyone says I have a huge personality. So I guess that makes up for it.
I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to meet you in person at Women of the Channel West. So I'm really excited about that.
Me too.
All right. So tell me a little about your career path and how you reached this position today.
Yeah, so my career path into the channel has been pretty interesting. I have a master's degree in criminal justice, and I worked for the government for about 6 or 7 years. Courtrooms, prisons, attorneys, judges, that whole thing. And unfortunately, after I got my master's degree, about a year and a half or so later, I was let go due to budget cuts. And so I was on the job market, found myself, looking for another job. And I was interviewing with the DEA as an intelligence analyst, right? Because that is what I know. That's what I do. So I wanted to stay in that field. Unfortunately, they went on a hiring freeze, so that never panned out for me. And I remember one afternoon, I received a phone call from a random sales and marketing agency in the Fort Lauderdale area. And when they called me, I thought they had the wrong number because my resume literally has nothing about sales and marketing on there. So I was so confused. But I listened to what they had to say, and they said, don't worry, we take people with different backgrounds, different experience, we'll teach you everything. So I said, okay, well, I have nothing else lined up. Let's just go see what this is about. So I took the interview, and it was great. I loved the environment, right? I'm used to very serious courtrooms and prison, right? So I go to the sales marketing agency. It was beautiful, and everyone's so lively and loud. And I'm like, this is great. I listened to the interview, and it ends up being, it's a direct marketing firm. So I started going business to business selling office supplies for the online version of Staples called quill.com.
Oh my
So
gosh, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, super strange, very different for me, but it was great, right? This is where I learned sales, the techniques, overcoming objections, how to, break the ice, and just, very starting from the bottom up. I learned it all, and then ended up doing really well. And so then I was in this management training program where they taught me how to become a manager of a business, basically. And so did really well. I started interviewing and recruiting my own team. I started teaching sales, transferring those skills, built a team of like 17 reps, and did really well. I graduated this management training program and opened up my own business in San Antonio, Texas. I was contracted with AT&T. So I was going door to door for 4 years selling cable and internet. Yeah, so that was strange. And then did really well, right? I expanded into Birmingham, Alabama. And then for about 3-4 years after that, things kind of took a turn. For whatever reason, recruiting wasn't going as well. So my business partner and I had to close up shop, as hard as that was to step away. but we did. And then I got, into the sales and marketing world, since I had that experience of leadership, running a business, sales, marketing. So I was able to land a few different jobs, radio advertising and franchise development and digital media marketing. And then as of recently, it's been about 7 months now that I'm in the channel. Started at a marketing agency, and now I'm the VP of GlassHive. So
that is such an amazing story. I always find it interesting to see the twists and turns of people's careers, right? Because we kind of sit there and we're like, oh, everybody else is probably just really straight. And the truth is that most of the people I talk to, it's not that way at all. And all of these experiences kind of lift us up to where we're at now and give us those skills that we need to be successful in those roles.
totally agree.
That's amazing. I love it. So what characteristics do you possess that make you an effective leader?
So I'm going to go with, I am definitely a servant leader. I am big on bottom up. I'm always asking, how can I support my team? I'm really nothing without them, right? They need a mentor. They need someone there. So I'm big on that, right? They get support. They know that their ideas, their contributions, they have a voice. So I'm very, collaboration is big for me. And then emotional intelligence. I think, with running a business and having to deal with so many different personalities and employees and people on a sales team, right? I know it takes a certain type of person to be a sales professional. But within my career and my experience in learning how to respond instead of reacting, right? A lot of times people will do things and you're like, why would you do that, right?
Yep.
Learning how to just have those conversations and come up with solutions and talk through things. I think my teams have always really appreciated that. And I'm not afraid to roll my sleeves up. I'm a very hands-on, even when I was going door to door, I could have sat in my office all day, but I would go to the field in Fort Lauderdale for 8 hours, knocking on doors, cold call with my team, right? I make it a competition out of it. So they can never tell me, oh, well, you don't know what it's like. Oh, no, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So definitely that, just, they know that I am part of their team.
Yeah, I love everything you said. Just starting off with servant leadership, like you're speaking my love language. It's I now I know why we get along and why we
Right?
do so well together. Yeah. No, everything about it. I love everything you're saying. And I think that just like you said, the rolling up your sleeves, like running your own business is very hard. It seems, intriguing and desirable, but you have to have a certain personality type to be able to do that. And I love that you got in there with your team along the way. So amazing. All right. So what made you want to be in a leadership position?
So, it's really what I've excelled in the roles that, I've held even after shutting down my business. I love building relationships. I think it's one of my greatest skill sets. Like those genuine relationships, really getting to know my team. I think it just takes things to the next level when you really know who's on your team, about them, what motivates them, what makes them tick. So you know how to coach them, right? Everyone has different personalities. So you kind of have to know how to cater to that. So building relationships, and my mentor always used to tell me, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that always stuck with me, right? I took that with me when I was building my business, or, when I lead sales teams and I, have to motivate these individuals, and, I'm in charge of driving revenue. It's not, they're not just numbers on a sheet of paper, right? These are people, they're daughters, their brothers, their sisters, like they have lives, they have ideas, they have things they want in their personal life. So, and then I love inspiring others, watching them grow. and blossom, right? Watching that evolution of who they are and into who they become is literally one of my favorite things in leadership.
And it's very clear seeing it in your face. Your eyes light up when you're talking about this. And I just love that you genuinely love your position. It's definitely suited for you. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So how, given the gender gap, particularly in leadership, how did you reach your level of success? I mean, VP of customer relations is not a small feat.
Right.
Partnerships.
Vendor partnerships. It's okay. I think with, running a business and with the success that I had with it, and then the failing of it, that resilience, that grit that I learned through that, right? I think grit is so important. The ability to overcome and push through, even though things are falling apart around you, really strengthened my character and confidence, right? So to hold a leadership position, right, you need confidence, right? You're leading people, and so they need to know that they're in good hands with you. And so I leaned on that confidence, on that grit, on that resilience that I had, and ran with that. I mean, it's taken me to great levels, and I've been super successful in my roles because of that.
Yeah, I can see that. Even the things that you said before, on wanting to be a servant leader and, helping mentor your team and bring out the best in them. These are all the things that get your team to trust you, and
Yes.
it makes you all successful together. So you definitely have a passion for it, and it comes through.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so basis of biases and stereotypes. I always love talking about this one. So what biases and stereotypes have you come across along the way, and how did you handle them?
Well, even coming from the criminal justice field, I'm new to the channel, but not new to a male dominant industry. So stereotypes have been pretty similar along the way, right? It's maybe weird to see a woman in power or at an executive level, right? It's like there's been times where I join meetings now, right? It just happened last week. I joined a meeting, and my CEO Gio is on there with me, and it's a room, a virtual room full of men, and they don't even, it says as if I'm not there, right? Until I open my mouth and I'm like, no, it's this way, like, and that confidence that I spoke about earlier, I just tap into that all the time because I know what I know, and I know, the skill set and the knowledge I have. And so in my experience, instead of I just use my voice, I guess.
Yeah,
I use my voice. We have to, right? In an industry like this, we have to stand up for ourselves. So I do that.
Yeah. I mean, just from our conversation, I could totally see you doing that. But just like you said, we definitely know what we know, and we have that confidence. You earned that seat at the table. And so just trust in yourself. And I mean, I'm sure once you start talking and showing people who you are, they're ready to
Right.
be on your team and play. And they see you.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So this is actually one of my favorites. Because I always find it to be such an interesting topic, and I always get something new out of someone who answers it. And that is, what do you do to protect or create your work-life balance? If there's a thing, but
Right.
no.
Yep. So work-life balance, gosh, that's so important. And I have learned and trained myself to make it a point, right, to do things with intention. Throughout the day, I'm working, I have my meetings, or if, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm 100% there. But when it's done, I'm also 100% not there, right? It's time for the gym. I put it on my calendar as if it's a meeting. And bosses don't cancel meetings. I have to do that, right? I have to go to the gym. It's for me. It's for my mental health. And so I've trained myself to put it on my calendars, whatever it is. If it's in the morning, if it's in the afternoon, when can I schedule it? On weekends, right? Or if it's a, Mother's Day or a birthday or a holiday, something, I make sure to disconnect, because I just feel like it allows me to perform better when I get back to work, right? Because if I'm just constantly burnt out, or if I'm constantly thinking about it, I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't be there for my team the way I need to. And so, that work-life balance to just reset my brain so that I'm there 100% for the people that I need to be there for is so important.
It is. And I love that you've learned that and you found ways that work for you. I wish it was something that I had learned years ago, but it's never too late. So I kind of do the same thing, just trying to schedule in that time for me. And I love that you even said that, you're going to the gym time is also good for your mental fitness. Yes. That has like night and day for me as well. Like if I get that time,
yes,
then it sets me up for a good day.
Yep. Otherwise I'm cranky. No one wants to deal with cranky Christine. I know, I do it for them also. Like, listen, you really want me to go to the gym. You do.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Well, Christine, thank you so much for spending time. Let us having, a little peek into what makes you tick in your story. And I'm just so glad that we got the opportunity to celebrate you as our Woman of the Week.
It's been great. Thank you so much, Jack. I can't wait to see you.
Yes, me too. Yep. So if you are going to be at West, make sure that you see Christine.
Yay.
Hey. Well, that was our Woman of the Week. Please feel free to continue to comment and, give her some shout outs. She shared a lot of great tips with us today. So until next time, happy Wednesday.
Bye.